Okay, welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you how to make some keyhole slots for keyhole hangers. And we're going to use the CNC machine. We're going to draw it in a spire. It does take me a little time to draw it. And then we're going to go out and cut them out and put them on. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create a new file, and we're going to keep the dimensions of the flag for now because that's the first thing we're going to cut, and the flag that I'm going to cut is 1 inch thick. So we'll leave that 30 by 16 by 1 inch thick, single-sided. Basically what we're going to do, standard resolution, hit OK. Basically what we're going to do is when we make a flag, we're going to be able to flip it over and then cut these keyhole hangers into the back of the flag to be able to put these in. So the first thing we need to do is figure out where we want to put them. And I feel like up on the top of the flag, that way it hangs tight to the wall, would be the best place. So I'm thinking in order to position them perfectly, let's draw a rectangle and let's put them up there. Since it's 16 inches height, let's put them 3 off the side and then 4 from the top. So we'll go on width, we'll go 3, height, we'll go 4, and we're going to do it from the top corner anchor point, and go ahead and create it. And there it is on the bottom. So let's go ahead and put it up here, and then we'll close this. We'll erase this one down here, delete. Now that's going to be our anchor point, so we're going to position this thing right here. Now, because it's an oval shape, we're going to have to do some circles. So we're going to do 0.63 is our width. And so we're going to create a circle. And the radius is going to be, get our calculator out, it's going to be half of 0.63. So 4148. So 0.63 inches divided by 2 equals, so 0.315, 0.315. And we'll hit create. So there's the circle. Now we're going to move this circle right here. And then escape. Click OK. Get rid of this one. Delete. So there's the beginning of our keyhole. Now the length of our keyhole is 1.7 inches. So we're going to go ahead and create a line from the end, make sure our snaps are on, and we're going to go and write 1.7 and hit enter. And that's our line right there. We'll go ahead and put another line going out and escape. And that's just a reference point. So now we're going to draw another circle. And we already have the 0.315 in there. We'll hit create. And we'll come over here and we're going to put it in the center, but we're going to have to move it down. Okay, we'll hit escape. Click out of there. Now we're going to click on it. And we're going to move it from this point to that point. So now we should be, if we measured line to line, we should be 1.7. So actually, let's check that, make sure. Where's our measuring tape? Dimension right there. So now we're going to snap from here to here and come out here. 1.7. So there's our outer dimension. That's perfect. Now we can get rid of this rectangle now. So let's highlight, let's escape, close, highlight that and get rid of that. So now we're in our right spot. We're the right height. So now we're going to do some more lines. We're going to snap a line from this outside to this outside. Hit escape. And then we're going to do another one on this side to this side. Hit escape. Okay, Now, in order to close this vector, we need to highlight the two. Let's highlight the two lines. Highlight that one. Hold down Shift. Highlight that one. Go over here to our scissor key, interactive trim key. Click on that, and we'll cut those centered out. That one's not cutting, so something's not connected there. Let's try this. Let's highlight the circle. Get our cut key. It can be temperamental sometimes. Okay, so let's highlight that. Get our trim key. Try that again. For whatever reason, it's giving us trouble. Okay, let's highlight these two again. Get our trim key. Try that again. These seem to be, oh, those are not even there. It's not even connected. Delete. Delete. Okay, we don't want to delete that one. That's the whole circle. So somehow this circle got messed up. And basically what you need to do is you need to zoom in and I try to show the difficulties too. It's a learning process. So now if we highlight, now we're able to, because we cleaned up that circle, we're able to cut those out. So now if we did everything right, there's our shape. Now let's check the width dimensions. So according to the design, let's close out of there, the width of this is 0.63. So let's check that, make sure we got it right. Get our dimension tool. We'll just go from here to here, 0.6239. It should be 0.63. So that's really close, but it could be, maybe I didn't go on the, let's try this measurement again. Let's escape out of there, close, get rid of that one. Let's check it from the middle, because maybe it didn't snap on the, okay, so that's perfect. So we basically, when we did that last measurement, we didn't snap on the right line. So now we have the right dimension, 0.63 wide by 1.7 long. So we'll close out of that. The next thing we need to do is the inside slot. And it shows a 0.35 hole. So, and that's where so we're gonna go ahead and create a new circle. And we're gonna divide 0.35 by 2, which is 0.17 clear, 0.35 divided by 2 equals, so it's 0.175 is what we need. So we'll go ahead and type in 0.175, hit create, and there it is. There's our, now we got to move that into place. Now the dimension going down, they don't show, so we're going to have to measure that with our calipers. So from the top of your keyhole hanger, it's exactly a ½ inch. So we're gonna draw a line. Let's go ahead and close that. We'll draw a line from this position here in the center. We'll go straight down, and we will type in 0.5. Enter. And there's the top of the keyhole. So now we'll escape out of there. We'll grab our keyhole, click on it again, grab it from the top, and position it right there. Now we still need a slot. So let's exit out of that. We'll get rid of this top mark. We'll zoom in a little closer. Now we need a slot, and the width of that slot is 3/16 by 3/16 by 5/16. So we'll write that down. 3/16 wide by 5/16 long. And that's from the circle down. So what we need to do is we're going to draw a line. And so from here, going down, we need to type in 5/16. And 5/16 is 0.3125. And we'll hit enter. So there's that line. Now we'll escape out of there. Now what we need to do with that line is we need to offset it to create the slot. So what I'm going to do is the width of it is 5/16. Oh no, I'm sorry. The width of that slot is 3/16. So what we'll do is we'll calculate 3/16 inch divided by 2 equals. So we need 0.09375 offset. So we're going to highlight the line. We're going to offset outwards, and we're going to type in 0.09375. And we'll hit offset. So there's one offset. Now we're going to close that, and we're going to leave it highlighted. We're going to go back to offset, and we're going to offset outwards to the right, and we'll go ahead and offset there. Now I put two of them there. So we'll go inwards and see if that goes, there we go. Now we're in the right spot, but we're off of the circle. So what we need to do is get out of there. I think I put two, no, okay. Edit, undo. Now we're going to get rid of the center one. So there's our keyhole, but we need to move these up. So now we've got two here, so I'm going to move one out and get rid of it. That way we don't have some unusual vectors later on. So now I'm going to highlight these two lines, and we need to move them up, and we need to connect to the circle. So now we're connected to the circle, and that's the length we want, but we need to go ahead and make another circle down here to basically make a nice slot. So we'll close out of there. We're going, since we're 0.63, actually the slot is, what did we decide that was? The dimension of the hole was 0.35. So we'll go over here to circle, and half of 0.35, let's make sure that's right, 0.35 divided by 2 equals, so we were at 0.175, so let's create one of those again. Create, and then we're going to, I want it to be in the center of here, so we'll just drag it down. So let's put it right there. Now that's the wrong one, 0.35, yeah, that's the wrong one. So we're going to close that. We're going to erase that one. And so we need to be the width of this keyhole. And this keyhole is only 3/16. So we're going to go back to the circle, and we're going to erase that. Now we're going to type in 3/16 in our calculator and create inches. So we should be 0.1. Actually, that would be even bigger. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, 3/16 inch divided by 2 equals, so we need 0.09375. 0.09375. And that should give us exactly what we need. Create, and there we go. Now we got to drag it down, so we'll close this. We'll grab onto it. We'll highlight it and then drag it down. Now I don't need it to be, I just need it to be in the center of that. Yeah, right there is perfect. So we'll click out of that. Actually, we'll highlight it again. Go over to our scissors. Actually, no, sorry. We're going to highlight the lines. Go over to our scissors, and we should be able to cut that out. Okay, and then we should be able to cut that out. Now I already see a couple lines that aren't connected up here on the top of the keyhole. So we're going to close out of that. We're going to highlight that. Actually, and let's hit Node Edit so we can see them. And that actually looks pretty good. So there might not be any problem with that. Now it has two holes that are 1.3 inches apart and they're 0.18. So let's create those holes. First we can get rid of this one. And there's basically our keyhole slot right there. And it's looking pretty good. And there's our dimensions. And yeah, so far so good. So now let's put our holes in. We've got some holes that are 0.18. So we'll go up here to the circle. And our radius is going to be 0.9. And we'll hit create. And that's obviously wrong. So escape out of that, get rid of that. Let me go back to their drawing. And it's 0.18. 0.18, so that should have been right. 0.18. Oh, I'm sorry. So this should have been 0.09, and that should be right. And there's a little hole right there. Now, we need to get a center mark here. And so half of 1.7 is, let's calculate that, 1.7 inches divided by 2 equals. So 0.85 to the center of our thing. So we're going to close out of that, go back to our lines, and we're going to start a line from the top, and we'll just drag it in the center, and we'll type in 0.85. Enter. So there's the center. Now according to the dimensions, the centers of the hole are 1.3 inches apart. So we need to create another hole. First we'll put this one, first we'll grab this one and we will drag it to the top. Now we're going to make another hole, same one, and we're going to drag, we'll exit out of there, highlight the hole. So the center to center, let's see, center to center is 1.3. So if we go from the top, then this one should be the top of this one. So we'll move this to there. Now if we do our dimensions from the center of both of these, which would be top to top, would be the same. Let's go ahead and do a dimension to check it. So we're going to snap to this top, and we will snap to this top, and hopefully we will be 1.3. And we're not. Center to center should be 1.3 inches. Okay, let's close that, erase that, and let's go back to our line, and from the top of this we're going to just type in 1.3, 1.3, and hit enter. Escape, delete. So from the top, so it looks like 1/8 of an inch. So let's do that. Let's take this line, we'll snap up here, and we will go 1/8 an inch, and that's 0.125. So we'll type in 0.125 and hit enter. Okay, so we need to bring that thing down to the top of there. So we'll hit escape, click out of there, highlight our circle. We're going to click on it again, and we're going to move it down to that top. So we should have 1/8 of an inch gap here. So we'll click out of there, erase that, and we will check that. Dimension, snap, snap. Okay, perfect. Now we need to do the same thing on the bottom hole. So we'll close out of that. We will draw a line down there. Snap from there, and we'll go straight up. And we will type in 0.125. Hit enter. Now we escape. Click out of there. Now we'll move this circle and snap it to the top of there. And we will erase that line. Okay, now you have a keyhole. Now we're going to check, let's check the center dimensions again, which will be top to top, would be the same. So, and we'll put it over here, 1.27. And that is perfect. Actually, I probably didn't snap it perfect, but that's right on the money. We're not actually going to pre-drill those holes, but I wanted it to be in the drawing. Now, let's put our dimensions on a different layer. So we will create a layer. Oh, it already has dimensions on it. So let's highlight, let's escape. Let's highlight the dimensions. That way I could shut them off when I go to the tooling, but I could save them in here for future. And we will right click, move to layer, dimensions. So now I can go up here and shut that layer off, and I just have my keyhole. Now the keyhole is only going to get cut by one tool, but we still need to place another one on the other side over here. So we're going to highlight this, and we're going to go over here to mirror objects, and we're going to do flip horizontal, so it'll be exactly on the other side, and let's hit click, and there it is, perfectly aligned on the other side. So now you see we have keyhole on each side. Now I'm going to highlight, I'm going to put these on a different layers. These little holes at the top, we're not going to pre-drill these. These are really small for the screws, and I don't need to pre-drill those, but I wanted to have it in the drawing just for. So we're going to highlight those, and we're going to move to layer, new layer, holes, screw holes, and we'll hit OK. Now we'll go up here and turn those off. So now we've erased those. Now what I noticed is these are both upside down, because when you hang it, so this should have been upside down. So what we need to do is flip them. So I'm going to highlight them, highlight both of them, and we are going to flip them. Let's see if this works. Yep, perfect. And then we'll actually move them up a little bit. So we'll close that. So now we've got two there, but we basically want to draw a line to make sure we get it in the exact spot. I'm going to draw a little line right here and escape. Leave that line there. Now I can erase this one on both sides. Now I'm going to highlight both of them. And then we're just going to double click on this and move this up to there. They should have both moved, yep. Okay, so we're going to escape and get rid of the line. Okay, now we're ready actually for our tooling. Now I still want to shut the screw holes layer off, which they seem to have disappeared. Maybe because I moved it. So let's highlight those again, because those aren't going to get cut. Move to a layer, screw holes. Okay. So now we've got them where we want them. They're facing the right way. It's time to do our tooling. And the thickness of this material is nothing. It's very, very small. So let's go over to the tooling. We're going to highlight. We're going to do two things. We're going to do a slot. Actually, yeah, we're going to do, let's see how I want to do that. We're going to do one toolpath, one pocketing toolpath. Actually, let's turn off these keyholes on the inside first. So we'll hold down the shift key and let's move these to their own layer. Move to layer, new layer, slots. Okay. Okay, let's turn those off for now. So the first toolpath is going to be to pocket these out. And we'll use a pocket toolpath, but we're only going to go, I would say like a 30-second, let's see, not even that, very shallow. So let's go to the pocket toolpath, and we're definitely not going to use that. We're going to remove that, and we're going to select a different pocketing. Cut depth is going to be, I think we could use a 1/4 inch end mill. Let's see if that works, because that's what I have. Actually, I have a, let's go down to white side, RD2, oh no, I had an upcut. Now I'm going to go check my bit, make sure which bit I'm going to use. Okay. The bit I'm going to use is going to be an upcut, RU2075 1/4 inch. So we'll go over here to, we're on white side router bits, RU275 right there. And we'll hit select. And we're going to go up here, we're going to type in 1/16, which is 1/16 inch, 1/16 inch. So we're going to type in 0.0625, and that's our depth of our. Now we're going to use that end mill and see how that works. We'll go ahead and leave it on offset. We don't really need to do a ramp plunge. And we're going to rename this, and we will put pocket, and we'll put RU2075. That way we know which tool we're going to use, and we will hit calculate. And then I want to preview this and look at it. Preview visible toolpath. Okay. So if we zoom in and we tilt it, we can see that it's pocketed a 1/16 of an inch right there. Okay, we'll put that back on the Z plane. We'll go back to our 2D view. We'll click out of that. Now what we need to do is do this slot. So I'm going to turn that layer back on. And what I realized is, so what's going to happen in this slot is you're going to put your screw on the wall, and it's going to go through this big hole and then slide up to here. But really what it needs is the back of this plate to have enough room for the head of the screw right here. So what we need to do, we need to change the look of this. So we're going to click out of there. We're going to go back to the drawing mode. We're going to highlight this circle. Actually, what we're going to do is let's see if it's all connected. Yeah, it's all connected. So what we want to do is ungroup this, highlight it, ungroup objects, see if it did it. No. What we need to do is draw a line, snap there, snap there, snap there. That one's not very straight. Actually, let's do this. Let's do a circle at point. Yeah, we'll do another circle, and then we'll cut it. So we're going to be 0.35 circle divided by 2 equals, so we need 1.175, and hit enter. And we're going to go up here. We'll move it. So there's our circle. 2 circles the same. Close out of there. And we'll double click it from the top. And we're going to move that down to the top of here. Okay. Now what we need to do is draw a line between these 2 centers. Snap, snap. And escape. Draw another line on the other side. Snap. All right, so now what we need to do, let's highlight both of those lines, go back over to our scissors and cut all this out. Because even though the plate, so the pocket's right there, but we need to be able to have our screw go in and up inside that metal piece. So now I need to fix this one over here too, but what I'll do is I'll just close this, erase this, go back over to the other side, highlight the center mark, and go back over here to mirror, and we're going to go flip horizontal, and we should have it over there. There it is. Okay, now we're ready to tool that piece. So we're going to go back over to Toolpath. We're going to highlight, hold the shift key down, and highlight the center of that, and highlight the center of that. So now we got both of the centers highlighted. We're going to go back over to the pocket. Now we don't want this to be too deep because it only needs to fit it's another pocket toolpath, same end mill, but we need to change the depth. Now if I'm looking at this tool or this insert, it kind of goes in a little bit, so I think that we can get away with a 1/4 inch. So we'll go 0.25 and we'll leave it as offset and we'll calculate. And we'll preview all toolpaths. And then we'll look at it. They're so small it's hard to zoom in there. Now that looks pretty good. So that should work. So now what we want to do is to test this out. We are going to go ahead and save this toolpath. So we're going to close. We need to go get our disk. I always like to clean off delete everything off my disk before I do anything. So if I go up here, I've got some other cuts already in there. So I'll delete these off. Yes. Delete that one. Yes. Okay, so the disk is clean now. So now I'm going to go here. I'm going to select both toolpaths. Now what I should do is pocket 1, depth 1/4 inch. So I'm going to rename this number 2. Pocket number 2. So pocket 2 RU 2075. And then I'm going to rename this other one just so I know which one's which. I'm going to rename that pocket 1. Okay, so I got both pockets, got them selected. We're going to check our material. It's 1 inch thick. Yep, material setup. And we know it's 16 by 30. So we'll go ahead and save this toolpath. Visible toolpaths to multiple files. Our Pro machine, 48 by 96, the Avid controller. And we will hit Save Toolpaths. And then we're going to go over here and click the USB drive and save it to that USB drive. And we're ready to eject. Okay, go to Documents, the USB drive, and there's our 2 toolpaths. And we know that this one's going to run first, and then this one's going to run second. Okay, let's eject that and go over to the machine and cut it. The first thing I do is I load the program in there. I change the bit to the 1/4 inch end mill bit. I then shoot down the sign with some nylon nails, and these allow the bit to cut right through them. And then I home the machine. I then use the touch plate to get the location of the corner of the material, and then I run the first program, which is the pocketing. Actually, right now, I take that back. I fire up the spindle and I do a spindle warm-up, and that takes a little bit of time. The next thing was to run the program, and the program only took like less than a minute to run the first program and the second program. And here you can see I did the first program and the second program, and now I'm installing these. And they turned out really nice. Anyway, this was a long video because of the drawing part. And thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I will see you next time. Later.